When we studied the Supreme Court, we learned that when the Supreme Court makes a ruling, it sets a standard that are used in future similar types of cases. We refer to this as precedents. Well, we also studied the separation of church and state, that we have um, the separation between government and religion. There's a couple of cases that are oftentimes used as precedents to determine if a law or action done by government is a violation of the separation of church and state. First of all, well, the first case we're going to look at is the Everson case. In this case, Hugo Black, the Chief Justice, wrote in his opinion this paragraph here, and it just breaks down what is a violation of the separation of church and state. And he says it's a violation of the Establishment Clause if, essentially, any of these things apply. So, if, like, the government would establish a church, create a church of the United States, it would be a violation of the separation of church and state because in Everson, Black writes that neither the state nor the federal government can set up a church. Okay, so I kind of broke down the Everson standard and put it in lines here for you, making it kind of easy. And what I want you to do is read the scenarios. They're all made up. And I want you to apply the Everson standard here. And for each scenario, I want you to tell me, is this a violation? And if you believe it is, say, yes, this is a violation of the separation of church and state. But you also have to apply one of these to it. So if, like the example I gave, if the federal government creates the Church of the United States, you would say, yes, this is a violation. It violates this standard because neither the state nor the federal government can establish a church. Okay, so for each of these 5 scenarios, I want you to tell me if it's a separation of church, a violation of separation of church and state, and also what line in the Everson standard you use to support that. There's another case called Lemon versus Kurtzman. And in Lemon versus Kurtzman, the Supreme Court established a 3-part test to determine if something is a violation of the separation of church and state. We refer to this as the Lemon test. So I give you 2 scenarios there, and I want you to apply the Lemon test. And the 3 parts are, it doesn't have to be yes to all these, but a law created by government must be for a worldly reason, not for a religious reason. And if it's for a religious reason, then it's a violation of the separation of church and state. And you can read the other ones here. Okay, so I want you to work with a partner on these. Determine if they're a violation or not, and why. Use these cases as precedents. And then when everyone's done, the substitute will go over the answers with you.